Jessica Johnson from Western Michigan, and you are tuning into my show, Vibe Talks. So, allow me to ask you a few questions. Do you believe that we are an interconnected species where we wind up having the ability to not only connect, but to also transfer energy to one another? Do you believe that we have the ability to be able to transfer energy by touch or even remotely, such as Reiki or even psychic healers do for other people? So what about energetic vampires? Do you even believe that people can unwillingly snatch energy from other people? Or have you ever been around someone who had made you feel like completely drained to the point that you couldn't even function? So think about those questions for a moment. As we wind up moving forward, if these questions wind up have been something that you have been wrestling with, I'm going to break down what exactly energy transference is and answer some of those questions that I had asked you earlier. So prepare your mind and truly be evolved. So think for a moment when you were upset or your pet winds up noticing. So he or she winds up jumping on your lap and cuddles you and makes you feel better. Wouldn't you say that there is some sort of energy transference that is taking place? Or how you would go to a Reiki healer to perhaps align your chakras or have some sort of physical ailment that you want to have fixed. Then suddenly that Reiki master had seemed to have healed you as you were just sitting there amazed by that experience. Wouldn't you say that there is some sort of energy transference that had taken place? Or think of a time if you were ever with an emotional abuser, like an abusive partner or a family member or even a friend. Like every time you're around them, they seem to break you down and you always wind up feeling drained. You can't even think, or you were even depressed, like you just can't get out of it. Wouldn't you say that there is some sort of energy transference that has taken place even though you did not benefit from it? So these are just a few examples. Perhaps they are experiences that you have had or ones that you have never thought about much. You see, we understand that each chakra winds up acting as a transponder, where it winds up acting or behaving like an input or an output of energetic frequency. You see, everything has energy to even function in their existence. From it's as big as from the human species itself to as small as a virus. Energy is everywhere, and every system works like a transponder for energy. So how exactly does energy transference works? Where Reiki masters or natural healers are able to help people heal, or how energetic vampires have the ability to take energy, usually unwillingly, from other people, or how psychics are able to connect with others and read another person's frequency to be able to tell them with much accuracy what is happening with them currently and the path that they're heading towards for their own future. You see, there is a simple logistics in how it all works, and how aware people who are able or who are viewed as gifted are able to use this energy to give or take energy to either help or harm others. Energy transference is what you're doing right now, whether you even know it or not, keeping you healthy and functioning properly. Your pet naturally does it the moment that your pet winds up coming to you when you're sad, making you feel better. In order to know any of this, we have to understand how energetic transference works. But don't worry, it will all make sense to you, so keep watching. You see, there is a direct energetic relationship between consciousness, which is you, and matter, which is your ethereal body, where the consciousness and matter are both forms of frequency. How we think and how we feel generates electrical impulses, which winds up traveling from the brain down to your spine. The frequency's nature of that electrical energy winds up changing the electromagnetic nature of the chakras, which influences the overall frequency of your whole body. In other words, if you feel sad or depressed, it winds up changing the frequency to a lower vibration, in which your body winds up responding by having frequent health issues. The same is if you're happy, and how it will change your frequency to a higher vibration, and you wind up becoming a healthier, happier person. Your consciousness, which is you, it's your thoughts, it's your emotions, your intelligence, your beliefs, and your attitude. Since consciousness originates as a brainwave energy, and the urethral body is energy, both forms and the vibrational frequency are all interconnected, where this frequency can be positive or it can be negative. In other words, you can either heal yourself, never being sick, or throw your body into a self-destructive mode, being sick all the time. You see, transference is simply the manipulation of urethral body from your conscious energy, yours and other people, and from within your own reality. The vibrational frequency of consciousness energy corresponds to the frequency of your lower chakras. Energy transference means that there is a direct energetic relationship between the frequency of your consciousness and your urethral body. This is why I had stated earlier that you are experiencing energy transference without even knowing or realizing you're doing it. Examples of this energy transference would be, like, the first one would be like from your own mind and conscious energy, like thoughts, emotions, attitudes, feelings, behaviors, and so on. Another example would be from another person's conscious energy, such as their emotions, words, actions, and behaviors. Or another example would be from cultural transference, which is the unconscious energy, like your beliefs, systems, physical attachments, and the media. Have you ever wondered why every time you wind up watching the news, you wind up feeling sad and depressed and weighed down? Well, it's because it's coming from the unconsciousness energy. So just to sum it up, your conscious energy is simply a brainwave energy where your emotions and thoughts are polarized. They have either a negative or a positive vibration. Negative transference, which means the negative thoughts and emotions will instantly be pulled into the South Pole, which is down to your feet or the bottom of your spine, which gives you that feeling of being held down or heavy feelings inside of you. So the positive transference means that thoughts such as love and compassion will wind up transmuting, or rather remove, that negative energy from that South Pole region. It's allowing you to feel lighter, kind of like the phrase cloud nine, right? This duality is the basis for understanding how energy can heal your chakras and in turn heal you. So now that we have somewhat of an idea in how energy transference works within us and around us, how does energy transference works when it comes to Reiki healers, or even when it comes to remote healing? So if a person who is a psychic healer winds up transferring healing energy to those in need. However, you must understand that all living things do have a natural self-healing ability, even you. But on occasions, this ability is unable to function due to someone having low energy. The fact is, no one can cure another person. But what happens is that a psychic can give healing energy, but the receiver, which is you, your own center, winds up distributing that energy to where it's most required. So think of it this way. When your car battery is low, you can't start it, right? You ask someone for a jump, So the nice person gives you a jump. He connects the cables and jumps your car using the energy from his fully powered battery, where he is transferring that energy. Once that energy is received, the battery comes alive and distributes that energy to the starter, the alternator, and so on to keep your vehicle running. Essentially, that is how it works. So the psychic healer can be either near a person in need of healing, where the energy winds up automatically begins to flow when the psychic healer uses their conscious energy to direct that energy to the receiver. The energy will wind up clearing and energizing the healer first, then the energy will move to the person in need. It will go where it's most needed by the receiver to connect the imbalance, to energize, and to enable the natural self-healing ability to activate as soon as possible. Healing energy can be transferred by words, sounds, by a picture, or a receiver, or even being on the phone with the psychic healer, and of course by touch. It's vibrational frequency, so wherever the psychic healer is consciously directs it, that is where it will flow, which is how it can be remotely transmitted to people near or even far away. Many healers can or do use their hands, either on or near the person or the receiver in need. Touch is psychologically beneficial, but not necessary to transfer energy, healing energy. Touch does show care, and, well, many people do de-energize because no one cares enough to touch them lovingly or to boost their self-healing properties. However, healing can be done by placing hands over a patient's skin and not touching, because the healing energy is coming in contact with the patient's auric field, where it's being distributed to where it is needed most. With remote healing, the psychic healer can have a photo of a receiver and focus that energy to that person. Then from there, the receiver winds up distributing that energy naturally to where it needs to go. Psychics kind of work in the same manner, but they are able to read the frequency and what they receive from any of their clients. They either could feel the frequency and where it's interpreted by the conscious energy, by pictures or movie flashes in their mind. Just know they wind up just knowing by interpreting that emotional energy that is given off from the client. Many empaths are very skilled in this, and once they understand the skill in their ability, I call them healers of the mind. Whether it's a reader or a healer, energy transference is happening, giving them the ability to do what they do to help other people. So I want to show you guys a demonstration, okay? And in this demonstration is how we can use our consciousness energy as well as our energy that surrounds everyone. You know, anything that's living, we have energy that surrounds us and everything else, and how we can use that to be able to move objects. With people who have telekinesis type abilities where they can move, which is having the ability to move animate objects, this is how they do it, is utilizing their conscious energy to move it where they want it to go, and using their energetic body to be able to be the engine that moves these objects. So for this demonstration, I'm going to use a pendulum. Why a pendulum? Because a pendulum is very easy to work with when it comes to energy. And for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you guys see where my hands are and how still it is, and I'm going to try to get this to be still. So I'm wanting this pendulum to move. So I concentrate on it. Faster. Faster. So what happens if I want it to stop? So as you can see, because you've seen my hands up above, that it would be impossible for me to get it to move like that by moving moving my hand in any way, or even to get it to stop when I wanted to. The thing is that we're using our conscious energy to be able to, tell it what we want it to do, and using our energetic body to be able to move the object to do the action. Okay, so you could do the same thing when it comes to compasses, is by moving that needle and be able to move it a little at a time. And it takes practice, because you have to have that focused energy to be able to do that and to direct it where you want it to, what you want it to do. And different exercises, such as using a pendulum, such as what I did, or using a compass, or even messing with the flame on the candle by concentrating on it and getting it to move how you want it to move. So these things, do happen. We all have this ability. It's not just finding a special person that can, that is magical, that can do this stuff. We're all have the ability to be able to do these things. It's just that we have to be connected. We have to be focused and be able to focus that energy in what we want to do, and what things that we need to, that we want done, such as like Reiki Healers and how they heal in what they do, and sending that energy to a particular person, so that way that energy can be distributed by the person, by the recipient. So that is basically what it is that we all have this energy around us, and the more focused and connected that you become, the more you're able to focus that energy and what you want to what you want done, such as healing other people, or even in the laws of manifestation to even tell you that. So energy transference is not only transferring energy, the relationship we have inside our body, or transferring energy to other people to help them with any type of their ailments, or like psychic vampires who are able to take that energy from you, but you're also able to use that energy transference and able to move objects. So I hope you learned a lot, and like I said, be able to play with the pendulum is the best way to be able to know that you have the ability to do this. Thank you. So now let's view the other side of the coin, shall we? There are individuals that are known to take energy from people unwillingly, and at times unknowingly. They are referred to as psychic, or rather energetic vampires. Now, I'm not going to dive really deep into psychic vampires, as believe it or not, there are deeper aspects about these individuals. However, I will cover them more in depth in another video. In this video, we are going to talk about their method in taking energy, which is energy transference in a different way. There are different types of energetic vampires, such as, for example, the narcissistic drama queen who is always dealing with one crisis or another, or the manipulative coworker who doesn't care who he or she steps on to get ahead, and so on. Yet the different types of energetic vampire goes even deeper than these examples. However, I am sure from one time or another you have met a psychic vampire without even knowing what one was. It could be that you have met someone who is even friendly or even very personable, where nothing necessarily seemed wrong with them, then suddenly after meeting them you felt lethargic and completely drained. What makes most energetic vampires so toxic is that they can be sources of chronic stress, especially if the energy vampire is someone that you can't avoid, such as a spouse, a parent, or even a boss, where these individuals constantly drain your energy, which is stress in itself. Some energetic vampires don't even know that they are one, or even what they do to others. Energetic vampires wind up feeding off of your psychic energy for their own benefit, often leaving the victim drained or even tired out, depressed, faint, sluggish, or even have like a heaviness in their head and limbs. The most targeted are the sensitive, compassionate people who always see the good in others. They feed on your good, loving, compassionate energy, and they have no qualms about doing so. They at times make you feel guilty, as if you're never giving enough. The way they feed is through a sort of telepathic link, which allows them to attach themselves to one's emotions and thoughts, where they wind up suckling off the energy like a parasite. They do their damage by telepathically draining of their victim's auric energy, and even affixing themselves to it like a parasite. Some may start an argument having the victim's emotional energy to raise so they could get an even more heightened energy to feed from the victim's energy field. So why must these individuals steal energy from others? Why can't they just get their own? Well, that's a good question. Some wind up feeding as a result of their physical or spiritual alignment that has reduced their own vitality in such cases. The need for outside energy arises either because the vampire's own system does not produce enough vital energy to wind up sustaining itself, or it winds up leaking energy, using that energy it does have ineffectively. You see, energetic vampires believe that they require outside energy because they effectively have higher spiritual metabolism. They produce vital energy without a problem, but for some reason they very quickly use it up, a great deal of it by any means. Often the vital energy is being burned at a faster rate to fuel psychic abilities, as some energetic vampires do have these enhanced spiritual abilities. So the difference must be made up by taking energy of others. Some psychic vampires believe that they have an imperfect connection to the universal sources of energy that fuel ordinary people, where the vampire's connection to the source is completely cut off, or they process this energy in a limited or inefficient way. For some energy vampires, they wind up feeding from others because it's like a drug, where they gain a euphoric energetic high from feeding off of other victims. Either way, this is energetic transference, even though the only benefit is benefiting only the energetic vampire who is feeding from other people. I will be doing a video soon on energetic vampires to definitely go in detail and to clarify everything about them. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you had found the answers that you were always wondering about and how energy transference really works. For more great videos, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. For now, stay blessed, let love do the rest. See you next time on Vibe Talks.